Welcome everyone, it's Howler here. I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of Warhammer Total War. So this is the second iteration. So in the first one, you had many of the same factions that you'll be seeing here, but you have an extended amount of more in Warhammer 2 opposed to Warhammer 1, such as, the Dark Elves here, the Skaven playable races, the Lizardmen races, and it's just one of those things that I haven't actually done a Let's Play of Empire or any of the Warhammer 2 versions. I've only ever done them with Warhammer 1. So I decided to just go with Empire since that's one of your more basic ones. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to play as Karl Franz, the Emperor, and it's going to be fun. Since I haven't done this play before, a little of it's going to be new to me, some of it's going to be the same. The main thing you're trying to do with the Empire is you're trying to confederate fellow humans. So they balance that in this one opposed to the first one by giving you things called prestige points. You need prestige points to make fellow humans like you. You need to send them armies to help them against, whether it's orcs or chaos, and that will endear you to them, so they're more likely to join you. However, when one of the factions joins you, the other ones don't really like that. They see you as a great power trying to take over. So you have to balance it. You can't just, take over 3 back to back, otherwise you might end up with a civil war. Now you start off at war with secessionists, and that's essentially what would happen if you had a civil war. So the first thing we're going to do is try to pit those people down so that I can just control my one province. For those of you that are completely new to Total War, the way it works is you start off with one city with most factions, and you can build that city, you can build your army, you have a general, you want to level that general, and what happens is as you level your general, you get more perks, like maybe he can lead people better, or maybe he becomes a better personal fighter. And it's all very awesome. Your units get experience. The more experience they get, they might get more morale, so they don't break as even. They might get a little bit of boost to attack damage. And it's all very fun. Total War series are generally pretty fun. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me. I'm going to try to talk my way through what I'm doing. However, you have the option to fight battles or auto-resolve. Usually when it's overwhelming in my favor, I typically just auto-resolve them because I don't really find too much pleasure in, having a full stack of 20 people versus like 3. It just takes more time to load the game, and I'll try to be using load screens like this to just explain things so that I don't have to cut them off later in the video. That way you actually get something out of it. So I'm pretty excited. It's one of those things that I have a lot of options when I play the Empire. I can confederate humans, I can go after vampires, I can go after the French, I can ally them. The Empire really thrives when you have multiple trading partners. I've heard of friends that make 20,000 a turn just based on trading. And just to give you insight, that's a lot of money in this game. One thing I did forget to mention about this playthrough is I only have one mod installed, and I typically do this on both the second Total War Warhammer and the first. It's a skill point mod, so when your generals level up, I'll mention again when it happens, instead of getting 1 point to invest in something, you get 3 points. Back when the first one came out, it was miserable upgrading your general 1 because it just seemed like the AI around you, their generals, would automatically become level 7s, level 8s, and you'd still be at level 2. And it just felt really uneven and unbalanced. Plus, some of the cool things really start happening when, your generals can get flying mounts, or they can get really cool armor. So I'm pretty excited. Sorry that load screen took long. I'll let y'all watch this.
Yet the fight to secure your rule has only just begun. The Empire is beset by civil war once more. Secessionists hostile to your election as Emperor are trying to form a breakaway province to the south. Advance, crush them, and bring the lands back to your sovereign rule. To the north, Boris Todbringer of Middenheim A bitter rival in the recent election is openly hostile. A clash with Todbringer and the wolves of Middenland may well be unavoidable if you wish to unify the Empire. Plan for this eventuality.
Alright, so here's our capital. Here's
the
the
Empire has
Emperor.
never been besieged by foes, but you are a prince of Altdorf. Greatness runs in your very blood. Make the Heldenhammer proud.
Alright, that was the intro. What these numbers mean is that's how loyal they are. 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, so they're pretty low right now. And that's what they were mentioning about them being one of the ones that would be more likely to revolt. Here's just a quick read of what I was talking about earlier about your prestige. So it's a little straightforward. I've read this a little bit already, so I already know what it is. So the fealty is just telling you right here what I was talking about, how it's scale 1 to 10. Once you have a state capital under control, you can keep an elector count there, or you can put a new one. And that's about it. You can see that, but okay, I have a mission. It's to beat the secessionists I was talking about. So these are the current elector counts of the different capital provinces. This is mine right here. Obviously, it's myself, and this is what they were talking about, how you can elect new ones or keep the same ones. But I can't really do anything to them until I control that territory. Whether that's me confederating them, which means them joining me freely, or me conquering them, or if someone else conquers them and then I take it back. That's how I'd be able to place a elector count. Now, if we want to see like everyone's status, like here's the Golden Order. They're 7 loyalty to me, so they're really close. This would have been my other option to play as. Now I can spend these points to improve them. And people are like, why would you want to decrease them? Maybe we want them to declare war on us. That's why we do that. And if you just do this, you can just scroll through them all. So Wislan is at 2. I believe they're sorted in order of how much they like or hate you. So that's that. This is our base starting army right here. We got our Emperor. He's got a purple that's the best type of item you can have. He has a decent starting army. The best thing we get out of his starting army are the Reichsguard, because it takes a while for us to be able to do research and make our way up to be able to have really good cavalry. So what I want to do is I want to make sure these guys don't die. I want to just keep improving their experience and making them good. If everyone else in this army dies, it's okay as long as I keep them and the Emperor alive. So let's see here. We can go to our technology and see what we want to start with. So we can get more public order and growth, which we probably want to do since you need growth so that you can upgrade your cities. However, we can upgrade our infantry since we're going to be using infantry for a long time until we can upgrade our cavalry and everything like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll explain a little bit more. This is, by the title, it tells you what it is. War machines are your siege units. Missiles are like your crossbowmen. Your gunners and everything like that. So we're just going to start off with growth so we can get more public happiness, faster growth, and you can see your growth by clicking on your city. Here's your growth right here. So right now I'm getting plus 15, so it's estimating 25 turns before I have a second population surplus. And what that does is you can see right here, looking up and down, that this is how much population you need to upgrade. So for my first upgrade, it's 1. I have that right now. But the next one will be 2, so that'll be quite some time. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that, and that's going to give me another building slot, give me some more growth, give me a little bit more income. So I'm okay with that. Next, let's look at our map real quick. Alright, so the enemy, the people that are rebelling against me, have 3 territories and a fort. A fort is something where you can't use to produce troops, but it holds a choke point. Alright, so here's their standing army. So the idea that I have right now is, let's see here, can I draw? I guess because it's single player, I don't need to draw, but in multiplayer maps, you can draw. So I'm going to take my army, I'm going to move them right about here, so that's going to force them to come to me, but while I'm doing that, I have two options. I can do electric count troops, meaning it's someone else's special troops, and you can see it takes a long time to recruit them, so I don't want to do that. Or I can do in your own territory, you can recruit more troops. So I'm going to go ahead and go like this. I'm going to get 2 swordsmen with shields, which are good against, you know, archers, and 1 spearman, just in case they have cavalry. I can look at their army, and by being close to them, I can see a little bit of their army. So we know they have a general, they have 1 swordsman unit. It looks like we found they have a 2nd army. Because we have no one near them, we can't see what they have. And it looks like there's nothing here other than the garrison. So if you look at cities, the number on the outside is how many troops they have there that they don't have to pay money for. So if I were to attack this city, it'd have 5 people here. And you can kind of get an idea by clicking right here, and I'll tell you. So they'll have a couple swordsmen and spearmen. So what I don't want is I don't want this army to retreat to this city, because that'd be 6 plus 5 would give you 11 people I'd be fighting. And I only have an army of 10. So I'm hoping this army is going to attack me when I end my turn. And if I win, I don't move from this position. So that means when it comes back to my turn, these 3 units will be in my army, so I will weaken them and strengthen myself. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, that's just what I'm hoping for. Alright, so we can go to diplomacy, and we can sort by how people like me. That's what I tend to do at the beginning of the game. So I can see, alright, these people kind of like me, and what I really want is I want to get trade agreements going. So like right now I have non-aggression pacts with a lot of people, but I need trade because I can get more money based on trade. So I'll just go and be like, hey, do you want to trade with me? It's like 50-50 right here. They accepted it. Great. I could have also asked for a non-aggression and military access. You know, I might as well just get non-aggression for right now. So got that. I could have, you know, done both of those things at the same time. I just didn't. So let's see here. We can talk with the French and the Russians. The Russians fight a lot of our people, so a lot of our people start to resent you when you're friendly with them.
By the light of the lady.
The French are over here. You can't really see them right now. They're at war with Marienburg. It's fine. They tend to get pretty strong, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get a trade agreement. It's 50-50. They said no. What if I bundle these 2 together? No, they just want military access. I'm fine with not doing that. I'm going to hold off on offering them anything. So I secured 1 extra trade agreement, and we can see right here that I'm not making a lot of money in trade. It's just the 1 person I got that trade agreement from. Part of that is because I don't have anything to trade. I have pottery, but I need a building slot right here to build a pottery thing. So what's going to happen is in 3 turns, I'll get a free spot. I'll probably do my pottery, so I have a trade good so that I can increase my availability. So I'm going to end my turn, and now the computer's going to do a million different factions turns. I can also speed it up so it goes by faster. Alright, so they did what I wanted them to do. They came and attacked me. Since this is a fairly close battle, I'm going to go ahead and fight it. So it's just going to load me in, and the cool thing about Total War games since Rome Total War 2 is wherever they attack you on the map, that's the type of battlefield you're going to have. So since we're on a road, there might be a road. It's going to be fairly flat because we weren't in trees, so it's not going to be a forested area or a mountainous area. So it's going to be a fairly easy map. Yellow is me, so this is where I'll be spawning. Here's where they're spawning. I can go on the defensive. Since they attacked me, their army will charge me. The AI is smart enough in this game to know that if they're defending, they're not just going to rush you. The only reason why they would rush you is if you had like 2 units and they had 20. And then they obviously can tell like, oh, we have the better chance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a position where I can put my gunners and my crossbowmen maybe on a slight elevation so they can shoot over my troops without me having to worry about friendly fire. What happens in this game is sometimes if they don't have an angle to shoot, your units just won't shoot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my swordsmen the center of my formation and put my spears on the outside. Alright, so this is the map that we have to work with. So this is a pretty decent hill right here. So I have two options. I can put my units right here and shoot down, or I can put my units here, so when they're marching over, I have like a direct line of fire. I'm going to choose this bigger hill right here. So once again, I'm going to put my range units like this, crossbowmen here, gunners here. I'm going to turn off skirmish mode. What that means is when people get close, they start running away. So let's see here, put my swordsmen in the center of my formation.
The Empire endures.
Put my stronger spearmen, halberdiers on my right flank.
Spearmen.
My weaker spear units on my left flank. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in guard mode. And I won't explain this every time, but essentially what guard mode means is they're not going to chase people if the enemy unit that they're fighting starts running away. I'm going to put this, I guess, we'll put this on the left flank. It doesn't mean it has to be there. It just, they're going to be there for now. Alright, so I can also toggle the speed. I'm going to fast forward it so we don't have to wait a long time for them to get to us. The fast forward just speeds up the game time. It doesn't mean that they're, sprinting. It just, they're walking extremely fast. So my general right now, he has one ability and just boost everyone's morale, if you will. He's also a duelist, and what that means is he's great at one-on-one fighting. He's not great at fighting giant armies, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him fight against their general. If I kill their general, they'll start losing morale. So let's see here. They're almost in range of this. They have their spearmen on the right flank, so I'm going to start sending my cavalry out. I'm not going to make them sprint. I'm just going to do a nice easy walk. Their general is on this side, so I'm going to march my general over here, just so it's easier. They're starting to fire because they're in range of these units. I'm okay with that, although these are my only shields. Everyone else is starting to rush. I'm just going to let them choose their own target. We get to see our gunners take some shots. Looks like they're fighting the general, or shooting the general. I want them to shoot at that big ball of people right there. Yeah, because even if they miss, it's not a big miss. So I'm going to have those guys start sprinting so that they can come and flank here. Sprinting now. Somehow I messed that up. Back these guys up so they don't get caught. Gonna have my guy charge right there. Let's see, I want them to encompass everyone. There we go. Okay, have them charge there. So we have the high ground. It's gonna be hard for my units to hit anything. So I can do. They're just going to shoot a little bit. I'm going to try to bring my units and do like a mini flank.
Move out! Spot us the target!
Because I want to be shooting directly behind them.
Missiles at the ready! On our way! For the twin-tailed comet!
Alright, now we can get more flanking shot. I'm gonna shoot. I want to target the spearmen because they don't have shields. So it looks like I'm routing these crossbowmen fairly easily.
My subjects call!
Are you actually fighting against their guy?
Come lads! Slay 'em!
He's right there.
Battle and blood awaits!
Okay, so they have the skulls, so that means they're not going to reform. So I'm going to send my knights right there to do that charge. Okay, you didn't quite go exactly where I needed you to go. So it looks like their guy's about to, die. Instead of him running away, I want to actually kill him. Let me see if I can get a volley off on them. I can check his health. It's 433 health. So we should be able to kill him with some volleys. I think one more volley and he'll die.
This is my command! Handgunners!
Alright, he died. Alright, I'm gonna start doing against those swordsmen. Alright, their spearmen are running. The whole army's starting to run. So now at this point, I could, end the game right there by clicking that, or I can just try to finish off as many of their units as I can. Some people consider this cheating and poor taste. You know, I honestly don't care. I think it's fair play, because when we retreat, we also lose lots of people. We just don't see it happening.
Halberdiers! Yes, my lord! Go!
Turn off, fire at will.
Hand gunners!
I'm okay with them firing because we don't have anyone engaging. So our cavalry is going to be our best mode of running people down. So they're currently engaged there. I can also speed this up. I don't know why I wasn't doing that earlier. So now that's speeding up, it should go faster. This is also kind of like a cheat mechanic, if you will, to increase the experience of your units, because they obviously get more kills. So you're going to see my knights are going to have a silly amount of kills. Keep in mind though, they did get the bulk of those kills initially against the crossbowmen that they charged. So as soon as this unit of 29 swordsmen is wiped out, I will end the battle and then we can load back. Cool. There's that. You also had the option at the end to save it if you wanted to. That way you can go and play back your battle and see how it's going. So, let's see here. My halberdiers took 2 different units charging into them. That hurt. However, Karl Franz, once again, is a duelist. He specializes in 1v1s. So he was really able to weaken this general. And that really helped, because as soon as the general was killed, not when he was running away, but when my gunners killed him, that's when their whole army just like panicked and fled away. So that's one of the keys in this game. It's not necessarily a guarantee if you kill a general they'll flee. However, if you do that to the vampire lords, it's pretty much a guarantee that they'll die and run away. I honestly thought I was going to take more losses with the halberdiers because they had spearmen and swordsmen attacking, but the flank with the crossbowmen shooting into the back and then the complete flank of the cavalry charge really helped. So I'm going to expect they go up 1 chevron, maybe 2 chevrons of experience. They're going to go up. Karl's is probably going to get a level for winning his first battle. So all in all, this should be fairly good up and up battle. It really helped us. Wow, I'm looking at my time. We're at like 23 minutes. But as a first episode of a Let's Play, that's fairly typical in the sense that you do a lot of explaining what the game is just in case no one knows what it's about. And Total Wars are games that you have to do a lot of explaining if you've never played before. It just is. I've been playing Total War games since the very first one, Shogun Total War 1. And I was just a little kid. I remember that's what really pushed me to get better at math, because I wanted to understand the finances of my armies, because I think I was like 7 when I was playing that game, and you shouldn't be playing this game at like 7 because it's so nuanced, especially back then, because it wasn't as self-explanatory. It was a lot more rigid. It was more difficult to understand. You had to understand, politics significantly more so, because like in these games, diplomacy is so much easier. But back then, diplomacy was almost a joke. It was like, oh, you're my ally? Cool. Oh wait, you just attacked me? I thought we were friends. Whereas in this game, atypically that doesn't happen. Alright, we won. So at the end of the battle, we gain some loot. It's usually the bigger the battle, the more loot you get. Sometimes you also get magical items, or for instance, we got a steel banner. So I can assign this and it'll make one of my units 20% faster. That sounds like it should go on my cavalry, especially because they're heavy cavalry. So now they'll be 20% faster. I leveled up. So now I have an option. Do I want to ransom the prisoners that I took? So I captured 83. Do I want to execute them? Do I want to take on captives? So essentially, take on captives will help my army replenish. I'll get it back to full strength for the most part. Execute will make my units harder to break morale-wise. Ransom just gives me money, but it makes my replenishment slower. I'm just going to go ahead and take on captives because I'm going on a campaign of conquest, if you will. So mission successful. I fought their army. I killed them, so I get an extra 1,000 and 300 prestige. That's great. We killed the guy. It's fine. Y'all notice that. New mission. Capture Grunberg. Hey, that's where I was headed to. So I'll get more gold and Imperial Authority. Here's the Imperial Authority. So it looks like I get -5 at a neutral 0. If I get positive, then it looks like I'll get more fealty, more growth, more money. So I'm all for this. That sounds like a great idea. Militiaman, +1 for infantry units. Alright, so when I recruit infantry, they'll automatically start with 1+ experience. Here's the banner I just showed you. So these units I just recruited are at 0, but if you look, I have 1 chevron. So when I recruit them in the future, it'll be better. Looks like no one in my army actually leveled up all the way. You can see the experience bar here. Here's the experience bar. It looks like it didn't fill it up quite too much. However, I can now level up Carl's friends. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is where you have to choose kind of like 4 different tech trees. You can do them all, but it'll take a long time, and that's why I use that mod to give me 3 skill points instead of 1. So if I go down the hard to hit path, that's making Karlsrand's even better at fighting 1v1. If I go down inspiring, that means I'm really buffing my army so that they'll be better. So like Mighty Forge, gives armor, this gives more missile damage. So it's just really what you want to do. I always choose this no matter what, whether I'm using a mod or not, because plus 10% campaign movement, it's so worth it. And then we haven't experienced this yet because we're not next to the Vampire Lords or Chaos. What happens is they tend to pollute your territory. So you really need this to help reduce it. I don't get that on my first level because what I really am worried about is my recruitment cost because I'm trying to build up my army. And then public order is okay. A little bit later you get one that it makes it cheaper for your units. So I'm gonna bump that twice because I'm gonna be recruiting heavily. I only have 1 army right now. That's his. So it's gonna be spending money. Now I'm gonna charge over here. Now they only have the 5 here. See, this looks like an easy win, so like there's no reason for me to load in, I think. So I'm just gonna auto-resolve it. Lost 99 units. I'm gonna get more loot, and then maybe I'll get an item. Probably not, because they didn't have a general. I still get experience. Now I'm level 3. That's perfect. So now I'm gonna get a few options here. Occupy just means I take over the city, that's fine. Loot and occupy. I get money. They're really upset. I also gain 12% troop replenishment. However, with this, if you loot it, it lowers the building ratings. Sack would mean I just take as much money as I can and then come back away from it, and the enemy keeps it. Raises, I completely destroy everything, and it becomes uninhabitable for a few turns. So I'm just going to occupy it. I get a new weapon. However, this weapon's going to be worse than mine because that was just a gray common opposed to my purple. Okay, mission successful. Got 1 Pearl Authority. Great, got more money.
Your burgeoning realm grows, Your Eminence, yet many evils still abound in this world. The Empire remains divided, and marauding Greenskins still threaten your lands. Further afield, there are rumors of a dark force rising in the east, spreading the taint of...
Okay, so what this is all about is you get quests throughout no matter what faction you play, and what happens is they'll pick a random place on the map. So for instance, it's right next to my capital, and what it is I choose an army, which I click right here, and then I would teleport to it. So I can't teleport right now because he's in here. However, I'm going to hold off to this because I'm actually in a fight and I don't want them to continuously get stronger and stronger. It will show me what the enemy has exactly. However, they'll get reinforcements. So I can see right now they have like 3 siege units and a crossbowman. I only have 1 cavalry. Seems like before I fight this, I'm going to want to have at least 2 cavalry units so that I can silence those guns. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. Here's another quest I have. It's to occupy 4 different territories. So that means I have 1, 2, 3 since I'm at war with those people. So I'm probably going to have to fight someone else in order to get that. Alright, so here we go again. I'm just going to max out my recruitment cost. Everyone's different. I'm really trying to get this, which means my lord replenishes his army faster. So I'm just going to go Untainted 1 and boom. And what this wound recovery time means is if an assassin strikes my lord and is successful, it wounds him, and instead of it taking 4 turns or 5 turns for my general to come back, it'll come back and for 3 turns depending on what it is. But the main reason I want it irrepressible is now I get plus 30% of my army coming back faster. Since I'm in a moving campaign, man, that is useful.
So,
okay, so I can't leave the city because I just took it. I forgot that my movement speed is very low. So once again, I only have 1 special unit recruit, so we're just going to ignore that. So the difference between global and local is local is in my current territory. As long as it's my territory, I can recruit units. Global means I could be in someone else's territory and recruit units. You'll see there's a big difference. It takes twice as long, so these guys only take 1, so that means 2 obviously, and then it's more expensive, so 340 versus 655, but you'll still get the bonus of them being more experienced. So I'm going to max this out, get 2 swordsmen again and 1 spearman. My turn's going to be pretty much over. You see right now they're upset. It's because I just took them over, but next turn minus 10 will go away. I'm going to march this way, so they have 5 units plus 6, so right now they're at 11. I have 13 when these are done recruiting. It's going to be really close because it looks like mustering. Yeah, mustering means they're recruiting units. So this is going to be one of those battles that I'm going to have to fight because it's going to be fairly close. And the good thing is every time I or someone else knocks out a faction, that's 1 less you have to see up here. So it'll start going faster and faster the later the game goes. Quest issued. I need a trade agreement with these people way up here. Alright, so they're neutral with me. On a scale of 1 through 10, they're 5. They're perfectly middle of the road. That seems like something I should be able to do. I will go to my diplomacy screen real quick to see if people like me a little bit more. Here's the people. If I get I could probably get a non-aggression with them. Yeah, it looks like... No, I can't. I could probably bribe them into this. I don't feel like spending my money on that. Let's see here. It's improving, so over time, it should work out. Alright, Middleburg, these are the people that we're talking about. We're going to rebel against me. So I can attempt to get a trade agreement and a non-aggression. So that's perfect. It's probably because they're at war with 2 different people right now. I'm okay with, the people that are supposed to hate me and rebel against me and lead it. Not hating me. I'm perfectly okay with that. It's just like trading, like, let's get more trade agreements. Cool. They said yes. Hopefully later they'll like me. It looks like I'm on the up and up with all the humans. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Now,
the Golden Order is who I really want to confederate, and the reason being is because they have this guy right here, Balthasar Guild. He is arguably the best human wizard in the game, so of course I want him for myself.
I am Prince and Emperor. Onwards!
Okay, so we're still in my territory. You can see the denotation between the yellow and red line. So I can still recruit. I'm going to keep doing my same split. Actually, I think that's what, 3, 4? That's 4 spearman units. That's fine. I'm good with spearman units. So with my capital, 1 turn away from upgrading my capital and getting an extra build slot so that I can start building pottery. Technology, 3 more turns until my growth and public order is okay. So this is new. I guess I wasn't paying attention earlier, or this wasn't in the first game. So it looks like I can spend a lot of money to make people like me more. So that's what this one is to the humans. This one is to help me against lizard people fighting. This is with the elves. This is Purge of the Fell. So this is fighting against the vampires and Tomb Kings. That's with the dwarves. This is with more elves. This is against Chaos. What is this? Bretonia. That's who I've been messing with. As far as I just got the trade agreement with. Council of Electors. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah. It just means I have to have lots of money.